In this presentation, we'll be discussing project-based learning. The key feature of project-based learning activities is the focus on children's efforts to answer questions that they themselves generate. Most project-based activities are lengthy and often require collaboration in a group to be done well. Projects simultaneously expect the project participants to use information they already have while gaining new knowledge and abilities. Project-based activities provide more intentional and planned learning experiences than play, yet share some of the attractive qualities of play, in a sense that they build on children's interests and are highly engaging for most youth. Project-based activities are especially appropriate for older youth and can be part of a larger overarching theme your program has selected. As a teacher, you can suggest topics. However, the best projects are ones generated by the learners as important and relevant for their own individual and personal reasons. Adults overseeing project-based activities assist in the choosing and planning of the activity based on ideas that come from the children in discussions, especially helping them determine the central questions they are seeking to answer. Staff members locate and provide the materials and tools needed for the project activities, describe the rules associated with involvement in the project, and teach the skills each child needs to successfully participate in the activities chosen. Think about any of the project-based learning that you've done in your program. Have you been involved in any project-based learning activities as a youngster or even now while working with children in your program? So the question may be asked, why project-based learning? Children learn to read by reading, compute by computing, solve problems by solving problems, and plan by planning and implementing those plans. Project-based activities provide the context and opportunity for children and youth to read, compute, problem solve, and plan in pursuit of answers to questions that interest and motivate them. Most projects allow for problem solving, discussion, and finding common ground. In most project-based activities, individuals and groups construct their own learning outcomes. The products generated while doing projects are genuine, student-generated products. Individual and group research is called for in support of the project, and literacy and mathematic concepts are practiced or learned from direct instruction that is provided as the need becomes apparent in doing the project. Project-based activities provide opportunities for individuals to actively use higher level thinking skills to evaluate ideas. Individuals learn to work both autonomously and cooperatively. Many self-management experiences and life experience skills are practiced and learned. Motivation is generally high because the project direction belongs to the learners involved. The learning that occurs is usually deeper, wider, longer lasting, and the result of direct experiences. Any direct content instruction, for example, figuring out a fraction, is usually very effective since it serves the learner in very immediate ways. The immediate and real-world context means that learning from one day to the next is related and built upon. There's usually room for and need for a variety of learning styles and intelligences to be applied as various problems or questions get researched, solved, and reported. Time is the greatest challenge of project-based learning. Projects require a team of learners and staff who attend the program regularly and are committed to the project over a long period of time. Another challenge is making clear the learning opportunities in project-based learning. Because the project's outcomes are not always as clear-cut as those of direct instruction, projects may be considered frivolous by those unfamiliar with the benefits of this kind of learning experience. Thinking about what are good project characteristics. Number one, it should be stated in an open minded way. There may be many ways to accomplish the project and many potential outcomes. Secondly, you need to have well described variables, boundaries, and possible directions. And then, third, the project can be individual or collaborative. Additional project characteristics are that it should be stated in such a way that everyone starts off with a sense of how he or she can use skills and understanding he or she already has. Should be shaped by ideas from the learners themselves and can be sequenced and organized by the adults or the learners. And it should be a process in which major concepts and learning are uncovered by the children and the youth. Some of the requirements of the children and youth while being engaged in a project-based learning are to listen respectfully, be willing to share, willing to abide by rules, complete assigned jobs, and also be willing to collaborate. Additional requirements may be that the children need to be able to read, be able to write and organize information, be able to listen and comprehend what others share, be able to synthesize or put together the bits of information found during research into manageable and related clusters of information, and then indicate interest for the project topic and be comfortable with and trust his or her construction of knowledge. The leaders need to be able to determine appropriateness and practicality of topics, locate appropriate project resources and make these resources accessible to children, help break the task into doable chunks, and suggest routes for learners to take to accomplish a task, and help synthesize or combine bits of information. They also need to be able to translate or instruct about unfamiliar terms or concepts found during research and help the children see how to apply what was researched to the project problem to be solved. Leaders also need to be able to model how to share ideas and applaud respectful sharing and discussions, outline or create a web of an activity including the desired learning outcomes, locate knowledgeable individuals in the community to talk with children and youth about the project topic, ensure that each participant has a role in as many of the project activities and decisions as is appropriate for the individual and his or her interests and skills, document, date, describe, and collect enough data to determine the learning outcomes resulting from participation in the project, and also to create a place or opportunity for children and youth to display the products they created or the learning that occurred for them during the project implementation.